plan A, a plan B, and a plan X. And for me, water theme, which is the theme that we're going to do today, is quite difficult because it forces me to go with the flow. And I'm not really good at that. But in life, we must learn to go with the flow. Especially when there's unexpected things that happen and you can't always plan for everything. So I know that you also, in your busy lives, you may try and have everything under control, but sometimes the best thing to do is to just go with the flow. So today we're going to attempt that not only with our bodies, so we're going to be flowing through the asanas, but we're going to also try that with our minds as well, and allowing the thoughts, even the intrusive thoughts that come in, to come out the same way that they come in. Okay, so just before we begin, especially today is going to be quite concentrated on the back and back bending. Can I just check in with anybody that has an injury, specifically if you have any back issues?
So right now I have an injury in my neck, and it kind of starts in my neck on the left side here and goes down to my shoulder a little bit, so it is a little painful when I am coming into some back bends.
Okay, so you have some cervical spine issue, especially on the left. Thank you for mentioning that. So I think a lot of the time when we're in a back bend, we also tend to lose our head and just open up our neck completely and drop our head back. It's super important to remember Jalandhara Bandha. That's one of the bandha, one of the body locks, and that's when you tuck your chin in. So if your neck is feeling comfortable in the back bend, I will allow you to open up, but especially, Amanda, I'd like you to remember to tuck in and not overly open.
Oh, I have a scoliosis.
Okay. It's not a contraindication to do a back bend for scoliosis, but it is super important to engage the front of your body. So if anything is going back too far, take it forward, yeah? And that also goes with, in general, if you are taking things too far, or it's painful, or it's uncomfortable, then please stop. Please remember that child's pose is always available. Shavasana is always available. Make yourself comfortable, yeah? If we think about water, water can be a tsunami, but water can also be a refreshing little droplet, yeah? So let's try and control the tsunami energy, and let's try and bring in the gentle little ripples, yeah? I also generally find that water calls upon water, so every time I'm in a water flow, I end up getting very emotional. My chest is open, I'm back bending, I get very connected with what I'm feeling. That's okay too, yeah? If at any point you're feeling oversensitive, I know that I definitely do in a back bend, please feel free to make it comfortable for yourself and maybe find a more closed or a more rounded back if you need to, okay? So I think I've said all disclaimers. Please also just be aware I will be offering hands-on assists. Sometimes when we're really vulnerable and open, we're not super up for people touching us. I won't get offended, I'll understand. So if you don't want me touching you, just let me know and I'll guide you verbally, okay? Beautiful. Okay, so let's tune in. Let's find a nice, comfortable seated position. We'll bring our shoulders back and down. And just before we tune in, just maybe closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths for yourself. Okay, and let's place our hands together in Anjali Mudra. Exhale completely. Inhale. Saviturvarenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And keeping your eyes closed, placing your hands in any comfortable mudra of your choice. Settling in your natural breath. I want you to imagine the ocean in front of you. And floating on top of the ocean is a beautiful little sailboat. It's not huge, but it's not a paper sailboat either. It's just a little sailboat. And inside your sailboat, I want you to place everything that is too much for you right now. So anything that is not needed for the next hour. Maybe perhaps if you're feeling physical tension, maybe if you have a thought or you've been annoyed at something, you're going to place that inside the sailboat. And even people, we have so many people in our lives, but nobody except for you is important right now. So I want you to place everybody that you know into that sailboat as well. I want you to take a nice big deep breath in. And on your exhale, I want you to blow the air out from your mouth and push this sailboat away from you. And maybe you repeat that 2 or 3 more times. I want you to watch the sailboat grow smaller and smaller. And watch as the sailboat floats farther and farther away from you. Let's do one more. So at any point throughout this class, or maybe perhaps even throughout the day or throughout the rest of your week, if you need to bring that image up of the sailboat and put whatever you don't want inside the sailboat and push it away, it will always be available to you. So keeping your eyes closed, we are now going to come into our pranayam. And today I have chosen Bhastrika, also known as bellows breath. A bellow is that instrument that we use to blow air on the fire, that it inflates and it deflates with the same potency in both bringing air in and pushing air out. And that's exactly what we will be doing today. It is a balancing pranayam. So we will invite this equal flow coming in and this equal flow coming out. That means that when you inhale, you'll have the same length and intensity as when you exhale. It is all done through your nose. It should sound something like this. So it's done with the same strength and force when you inhale as when you exhale. I will guide you in 3 rounds of Bhastrika by using the mantra Soham, I am. So will be your inhale and Ham will be your exhale. Another friendly reminder that when you inhale, the belly grows big. When you exhale, the belly flattens out. So just before we begin, connecting with yourself and noticing how you feel with your natural breath. And I will now begin. We'll have a little 10-second break in between each round of Bhastrika. It might be useful for you to place one hand on your belly to feel the inhale and the exhale. So, exhale completely. Soham, 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 soham. And just staying in your natural breath for a moment. Just a friendly reminder, make them both the equal length. So you inhale, same length that you exhale. Get ready for round 2. Exhale completely. Soham, 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 soham. Again, returning to your natural breath. And getting ready for that third and final round. Exhale completely. Soham, 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 soham. And without any movement, just staying in your natural breath and noticing how Bastrika, bellows breath, what the effects have had or been on the body and on the mind. And keeping your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you, stretching your legs out and leaning back into Shavasana. Separating the feet from one another. And just noticing what has this pranayama done to the body, perhaps to the mind. And nice and slowly, bringing your conscious mind back into your body. Gently beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And taking a nice big deep stretch. Mentally preparing for the physical portion of your class. Turning over to whichever side of the mat is most comfortable for you right now. Taking a nice deep breath there. And then nice and slowly coming into a seated position in Dandasana with your legs stretched out in front of you. Yeah. Okay, so nice and slowly. If it's comfortable for you, you'll make two fists and bend one knee. And we're going to come into a forward fold. If it's easier for you to swing your legs over to the side, make your way into your forward fold. And just let everything shake out here. Maybe you want to hang loose. Maybe you want to imagine that any excess thoughts are falling from the crown of your head into the ground. Maybe you want to go. And keeping the knees gently bent, we're going to slowly roll it up vertebrae by vertebrae. The head will be the last thing to come up. What a beautiful roll up, yes. Lots of mindfulness there. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get ready for Surya Namaskar. We're going to begin with 2 fluid rounds of Surya Namaskar A, and then I will guide you in a controlled round of Surya Namaskar A, which means I'll be offering those hands-on assists. Please find your way to the top of the mat in Samastitihi and begin to find your Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi is also known as the ocean breath, so it fits perfectly in with our theme. Let's begin to feel that flow coming in and coming out. Beautiful. On your next inhale, Urdhva Tadasana, keep the drishti up to the thumbs. On the exhale, Uttanasana, all the way down. Inhale, half lift, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, step walker, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. On the inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Knees are off the mat. On the exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's hold it here for 5 deep breaths. Stay in your Ujjayi. Hips are nice and tall. One more nice deep breath. Look at your hands. Step walker jump. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Tadasana, all the way up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Let's do another one. Inhale, Urdhva Tadasana, drishti at the thumbs. Exhale, Uttanasana, all the way down. Inhale, half lift, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, step walker jump. Bend your knees if you need to. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 5 deep Ujjayi breaths here. Really push your hands into the mat. Make little starfish with your fingers. Breathe nice and deeply. Beautiful. One last deep breath. Look at your hands. Step walker jump. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up, Urdhva Tadasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Beautiful. Please remain in your ujjayi breathing. I'm going to do a controlled round now. And you are in samastitihi. Notice that grounded, rooted feeling. Yes. Okay, coming into Urdhva Tadasana, please. Continue to breathe. Yes. Pelvis forward. Beautiful. Okay, and Uttanasana. Yes. Urdhva Uttanasana. Keep breathing, nice tall spine. And Chaturanga Dandasana. I won't hold you here for long. Use blocks or bend your knees if you need to. Beautiful. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. Yes, continue to breathe. Beautiful. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hips are nice and high. Remember, it doesn't matter if your heels don't touch the mat. Okay, look at your hands. Step walker, jump into Urdhva Uttanasana. Hold it here for me, please, but keep breathing. You can also place your hands on your shins if that's easier for you. Okay, Uttanasana. Beautiful. Urdhva Tadasana. Continue to breathe. Yes. Yes, and Samastitihi. Wonderful. Okay, on your next Ujjayi breath, please come into Utkatasana, chair pose. Yes, on your exhale, Uttanasana, all the way down. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Please bring your right leg forward in between your hands. Get ready for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Hips are going to face forward. Keep that Ujjayi breath. Yes. Okay. And on your next exhale, we're going to bring our hands back down onto the ground. We're going to come back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now imagine that your back is a wave in the ocean, and I want you to ripple your spine forward. If you want to come into upward facing dog, you can come into upward facing dog, or if you just want to ripple your spine forwards and backwards, stay in Ujjayi breathing. Yeah, like your back was a wave in the ocean, really rippling every vertebrae. Beautiful. Yes, make this your own. Find your own wave in the ocean. One more. Beautiful. And we're going to keep it back in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Please, you're going to bring your left hand, so your ocean side hand, anywhere on your right leg. So it might be on your knee, it might be on your ankle, and you're twisting. So you're looking underneath your right armpit. Take a deep breath here. Yeah, do the version on your knees. Excellent. Beautiful. One more nice deep breath here. And nice and slowly, bringing that left hand back onto the mat. Bring your right foot forward, please, in between your hands. You're going to bring that left knee down. So if you need to bring that left knee down onto a blanket or something more comfortable, please do so now. Okay, so coming up with your hip above your left knee, so not sliding forward too much just yet. I just want you to feel your pelvis, and I want you to tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. So I want you to keep your pelvis tilted forwards, yeah? Okay, so once you feel that your pelvis is really pointing forwards, then slide a little bit more over your knee. Bring your arms up to the sky, nice big inhale in Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, your hands may go to the ground or to some blocks, and you're going to stretch out your right leg in Ardha Hanumanasana. We're going to repeat this for 5 more breaths. Or 4 more breaths, because we just did one. On the inhale, slide over the knee, open up the arms, open up the chest. On the exhale, bring the arms down, either to blocks or to the ground, and stretch out that leg. Yeah, and follow your own breathing rhythm. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, take it down. Yeah, I love blocks because they help keep my back a little bit straighter and a little bit safer, especially when I notice that I'm overdoing things. So try and notice if your energy is that tsunami or if you're a little ripple wave in the ocean. Okay, beautiful. One last breath. And on your next exhale, please bring your hands down onto the ground. Slide that right knee back. And we're going to come into Vajrasana. So thunderbolt pose. Thunderbolt pose? Yeah, okay. You may need some blocks for this. So if you like, you can bring your blocks by your sides, by your ankles, okay? So if you need to set that up, please set that up. On your next inhale, please lift your pelvis up over your knees, okay? You want to try and keep your chest open. So really let Anahata shine forward. Engage your core so that your lower back isn't suffering and doing all of the work. Let's tuck in the toes if it's comfortable for you. If you have a toe injury, then please do not tuck in your toe. And just remember that your blocks are there, so you might reach for your block instead of for your heel, okay? Let's bring both arms up in line with the shoulder. Bring the left hand in Chin Mudra, please. Your right arm, your stone side arm is going to inhale and reach up to the sky, and exhale. Either try and touch your heel or the block. Beautiful. We're going to hold it here for 5 Ujjayi breaths. Yes. Beautiful. So ideally, we want to keep the chest shining forward. And please remember Jalandhara Bandha. If you notice that your head is leaning back too far, then tuck in your chin. Beautiful. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Nice and slowly. We're going to inhale and reach the right arm up, and exhale, bring our hands back down onto the ground. Yeah. We're going to swing our legs over to one side, and we're going to face the ocean to sit down, or perhaps face everyone else. Okay, so we're going to sit down with our legs nice and wide. Going to come into a twisted forward fold. All right. So our right hand is going to come onto our left hip. So your mountainside hand is going to go on your Gayatri house hip, okay? So your left arm, your Gayatri house arm, is going to inhale and reach up to the sky, and exhale, reach over towards the mountain. Now the objective isn't to touch your leg. We're going to hold it here for 4 more deep Ujjayi breaths. The objective is to open up your chest. Yeah, so if you notice that you're struggling and you've turned this into a tsunami energy, you need to take it back a little bit. Beautiful. One more nice deep breath here. And on the inhale, we're going to take it all the way up. On the exhale, take it back. Let's bend that front knee, and please make your way into Phalakasana, or a plank pose at the top of your mat. Okay, find your Ujjayi breathing, engage your core. If you need to bend your knees, and Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Your left leg is going to take a big step forward in between your hands. Please come into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. So hips are shining forward towards the mountain. Stay in Ujjayi. Yes. Okay, nice and slowly, we're going to bring the hands back down onto the ground and come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bring that left foot back. Once again, we're going to pretend that our back is a wave in the ocean, and we're going to ripple our back. Every little vertebrae is part of the movement. You can come into tabletop. You can come into upward facing dog. You can come into cobra. Imagine that every single part of your body is moving like a wave. This is beautiful, so flowy. Yes. And slowly, one last one. And staying in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Okay. Your right hand, your stonewall side hand, is going anywhere on your left leg, on your ocean side leg. Maybe that's on the knee. Maybe that's on the ankle. You want to try and twist and look underneath your left armpit. That's it. Yeah. So you can rest. That's it. So let's stay here for 3 more deep Ujjayi breaths. Piega le ginocchia per terra. E fammelo qua. Esatto, perché è un twist da fisica. Meglio? Ok. Okay. Nice and slowly placing your hands back onto the mat and bringing that left leg forward in between your hands, placing that right knee down. If you need a blanket or doubling your mat up for your right knee, now is a great moment. Okay, so let's reposition the pelvis. Come up with your hips just above that back knee for a moment instead of sinking into it. Often our back bends come from the lower back, but we want to make this back bend come from the upper back. So just tilting your pelvis backwards and forwards again. Imagine that you're a wave in the ocean with your pelvis. Stay in Ujjayi, and the pelvis tilts forward. That's where you remain. Slide forward on the knee. Open up the arms. Inhale in Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, coming into Ardha Hanumanasana, stretching that left leg out. There's no shame in using your blocks. Your blocks are there to help you. Inhale, open up the chest, bring the arms up to the sky in crescent moon, and exhale. Try and keep the back straight. If you're rounding out the back, you're probably losing your stretch in your leg. Okay, and 3 more times. Inhale, reach it up. Beautiful. And exhale, spingi sugli occhi. Push on your blocks. That's it. Beautiful. One last one. Okay, and nice and slowly on your next exhale, place your hands back down on the ground, slide your left knee back and come into Vajrasana, thunderbolt pose. You may need to bring those blocks by your heels, by your ankles. On your next inhale, lift your hips up onto your knees. Stay in Ujjayi, bringing your arms in line with your shoulders. Your right hand is coming into Chin Mudra. Left arm, inhale, reaches up, exhale. Either is placed on your heel or on the block. I didn't instruct you to tuck in your heels, although you may always do so. Let's try and keep the chest forward. Stay in Ujjayi. That deep ocean breath sound. Beautiful. And if your neck is hurting here, or if it's too much for you, Jalandhara Bandha, engage the chin close. Okay, one more deep Ujjayi breath here. And on the exhale, bringing our hands down onto the mat in front of us. And we're going to swing our legs over to the ocean, and we're going to look at the stone wall this time. Why not? We'll switch things up. Please open your legs nice and wide. And you notice if too wide is too strong for you, stay in Ujjayi. Yeah, you want to stay in that Sthira Sukhamasanam, that steady yet comfortable posture. Your left hand, your mountainside hand, is going towards your Gayatri house hip. So your left hand is on your right hip or your right thigh. And then your Gayatri house hand, your right arm is going to inhale, reach up to the sky, and exhale. Your objective isn't to touch your foot, although if you can touch your foot, you may do so. Your objective is to keep your chest open. You're there. And this is a forward folding twist. So breathe in Ujjayi. Beautiful. Yes. One more nice deep breath. And nice and slowly, bend, coming back up on the inhale. Exhale, bring your arm down. Bend that left knee and come into tabletop at the top of your mat, please. Just taking cat and cow, any variation. Maybe you want to roll out the hips. Maybe you want to close the eyes and feel what the water element feels like. We are 70% water in our body. How is the water in your body moving today? Beautiful. On your next exhale, please push back into downward facing dog. Yeah. Sometimes we like to play in the water. We like to splash around. If you're feeling playful, maybe you want to jump and cross your legs at the top of the mat. If not, maybe you just want to walk up to your hands, and we're going to sit down on the mat. So maybe we're feeling playful. Maybe we're feeling like we need a jacuzzi relax type of water situation. Okay, so we're going to come into Matsyasana. Please stretch your legs out and come into supine. You might need a block or a bolster underneath your shoulder blades. And we're going to lie back, please. Stay in Ujjayi breathing. Slide your arms underneath your body. On the inhale, lift your chest up, and the crown of the head is going back on the ground. Anahata, the heart, is the highest point in the body. Please remember that if this is hurting your neck, you may place a cushion or a block under the head. Yes? Do not suffer. We don't want to drown in our water flow. We want to feel refreshed and regenerated. One more nice deep Ujjayi breath. Beautiful. You all have done super amazing. On your next exhale, like a little ice cube, you're gonna melt back down onto the ground. Slide your arms back from underneath your body and bring the head back down onto the ground. On your next inhale, please bring your knees into your chest. And if you would like to, you can come into happy baby, perhaps hugging your, grabbing your feet or your big toes or perhaps your ankles. Maybe you want to sway like you were floating on the top of the water. And stay in Ujjayi one more moment. Can I assist you? Yeah. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And nice and slowly, let's get ready for Shavasana. So you may stretch your legs out into the corners of the mat. If you need to wrap up or place a blanket on you, now is a nice time. And bringing the palms of the hands upward facing. Let's release our last Ujjayi breath with a big exhale through the mouth. Wonderful. Now, I want you to imagine that you are lying at the beach. I want you to visualize the water in front of you. All of the different shades of blue sparkling. The gentle waves come crashing towards your feet. And you feel like you are in complete peace. Allow your body to completely relax with this ocean view. Nice and slowly, keeping your eyes closed. Bringing your conscious mind back into your body. And slowly swaying the head right and left. And wiggling your fingers and your toes. And stretching completely out. All that your body is asking you for. Maybe you hug your knees into your chest. Maybe you roll over to one side. Nice and slowly coming back into our seated position to close our session. Keeping your spine nice and tall and bringing your shoulders down. And connecting with the water element inside of you once again. And just noticing, how is the wave in your ocean? And placing our hands in Anjali Mudra, I would like to close with one of my favorite Rumi quotes, which says, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop." And let's use the mantras to seal this beautiful phrase. Exhale completely. Inhale. Triambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urva Urkamina Bandhanam Mritriyor Muksham Amritat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And bringing your hands to your third eye, thanking yourself for your infinite wisdom, bowing down in honor of yourself. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much.